Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Mad Capper and this is another video on Raid Shadow Legends. Today I thought we'd do something a little bit different. This all stems from watching a video from Darth Microtransaction where he defends the content creator program resources giving to the tier 1, 2, and 3 content creators. In this case it was Hell Hades getting a little bit of grief on Reddit for his the amount of resources he gets in content creation. At first I thought, well, let me just show you what I get for resources and show you where those resources go. But I think I want to take it one step further and show you how I do a video on I built them so you don't have to. So why don't we do that? We're going to jump in and I'm going to show you from start to finish what I do to build a champion, including all the resources I use. And then we can investigate what kind of resources I get from Plarium as a tier 2 content creator. And maybe it'll start alleviating some of the issues and some of the problems. One at a time. Let's start from scratch. I'm going to make a brand new epic before your very eyes. The magic pulling back the veil. So the first thing I do, now a lot of the times I would, during a champion training tournament, I'd passively get these guys to level 50. And then when I'm ready, I'd take them at 50 and I'd start working on them. But for the purposes of this, let's just go through and let's talk about what we're going to be using for a brand new champion at level 1-4, and I'll pretend we're going to do this. Just making sure that I have one that I haven't already built. Let's see. It's not looking good, folks. I might have to take one. Oh, you know what? I have a Pestilus. I have one already half done. Oh, hey, Tarshan. I'm pretty sure I don't have a Tarshan. Okay, yeah, it looks pretty good. So he's a relatively new champ for me. Where did he go? So first thing I do, we're going to take him into the tavern. And what I would normally do when I get one of these champions, I'm not quite sure I didn't with him, is I just do one ascension. And that's just a reminder to me to not use him for food. But let's get going here and we're going to level him up. You can see I have plenty of brews. I get brews for purchases. We don't get any free brews, but I get them through events, purchases, clan versus clan, you name it. Brews seems to be the soup du jour for this company. So we'll use that and we'll level him up really quickly. And I'll tell you what, we're gonna get them up to 50 and then I'll speed it up, and then when we come back we'll be able to move on. Alrighty then. Okay, I'm just looking at how many brews we've used here. In order to get this champion to 4-star max, it's 24 brews. It's another 51 to get from 1 to 50 on 5-star, and then 6-star is 107. So now, so far we're 158, 178, 182 brews when we get him to 6-star 60. So that's the first expense. I'm gonna total this up at the end, just so you guys have an idea of kind of what the math is, what the value of this is. We're gonna use Chosen's calculator, keeping in mind that Chosen's calculator posts the prices as Plarium dictates, and then he says this is the value he would pay for it. That is in a discounted 40%, 50% of that value. So you guys can do the math on your own. I'm just going to punch it in there and show you what the numbers look like. So 182 brews. We also used a bunch of potions, which I should have looked at. Let's see if our boy has potions on it. I'm using a Yumi Love. It's beautiful. Ascension potion requirement table. Look at you, Reddit. Rushing it. Total potions we're using. In this particular case, we're using Spirit Affinity Potion, Spirit Potions. We're using 20 greater and 10 superior, and then 15 arcane greater, and then another 5 superior. So we've got that total in there for potions now. Let's move on to the next thing. We're gonna send him now. The reason why I'm not counting the 4-star epics, although, okay, technically you can say, okay, I used 5 ancients, right? We'll say that. We'll say 5 ancients as well, right? 1 to get Tarshan, and then the 4 food that I just used at 4-star. For the sake of calculations here. And then we're going to rank him up, and we're going to use, I don't have food right now, I only have 1 food piece. So we're going to use our box, our chickens. Now I get 4 for free, so that's 5 times 5-star chicken. And then I'm going to write down here, I get 1,000 gems, I get 4 epic books, I get 1,000 energy, and I get 3 million silver. Is that all yeah. I feel like I'm missing one thing. Chickens. I'm an idiot. And oh man. Wow. I also get 4 5-star chickens. Okay? So there we go. So I've used 5. We're going to upgrade here. Boom. That also cost me silver. I didn't include that. I should have. But let's just pretend that was, what, 35,000, 35k silver. And then we've already put that into the calculations. As well as we'll upgrade this guy. 107. Off of a champion in soloing a dungeon. It's the process I use because I don't necessarily have that time. So the next thing is, and I can't do it here. First of all, I only have 7 books right now. It's just, CVC was just like 4 days ago. So, but I will count out the number of books I will be using. I will definitely do it. So we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now there's debuffs, and anytime there's debuffs, I do put the books in there, even if it doesn't land into it. So that's 10 epic books. I'm gonna put that 10 epic. And that's actually really good value out of a champion. 2, 6, 10. Okay. And then that one. So place to strengthen for 2 turns whenever his HP drops. That's kind of neat. Places a 60% increased defense on all allies. Fills the turn meters of all allies by 20%. That's kind of neat. Attacks alt. What is that on it? A 4-turn cooldown. I wonder if somehow, in conjunction with I wonder if you could use him in the clan boss somehow. Has a weaken 100% when booked 3 turn, and a provoke on 1 enemy, and it's a 35%. 35%. Like why? All right, probably not going to be, overall it's probably not going to be a great champion. Might be good in his faction if you needed him, because he's got a lot of, he puts a strength on himself though. That's kind of like meh. I hate selfish champions. But this is an all allies with turn meter, so that's a nice one. Attacks all enemies, and then the weaken. So if you have a defense down only champion. Okay, so now we have him at 60. What's next? We got to gear him. And we got to put in his book. So we're going to go back to the champion. We're now going to go to Masteries. And guess what? Yeah, you could put him through Minotaur. I haven't run Minotaur in I don't even know how long. So we're going to do that. So that's 800 gems. Okay. Now he's a defense-based champion. 50 crit damage. Defense 1398. I always like building him out for damage first, just to see. All right, there we go. That's what we're gonna go with. Now, also, I always like trying this. I find it's more, it's more fun. Notice I'm not. Oh, yeah, I know 80's right. He's got a 15 starting accuracy, which is nice. So we're not gonna put him in an accuracy banner. We're gonna put him in a defense banner, unless I think 100%. And this one doesn't seem bad, right? So this is good because anytime we can save some silver here. I haven't actually spent any silver yet, which is nice. But I don't like taking gear off of people. So at some point, we're gonna start rolling some accuracy 11. Okay, so I'm at 82,944. And we're going to see how much this is going to cost. What I'm going to do, we're going to speed this up again, just like I did on the Bruise. And then we'll come back to it when we get to the one we want. I want at least a double accuracy, but I'll roll until I get a triple accuracy. This is the rule I get. It's the reason why I have a level 16 banner ready for him instead of having to roll that up already. But let's go. And then when I come back, we'll head on to the next phase. Well, that was a big fat meme. I might just use this because it's got triple defense. He's a defense-based champion. But we did get one accuracy here, so I'm going to put that on for now. I hate stealing, but it just makes more sense. So that's an unfortunate event, but we're going to spend 100,000. We're going to take Retraxas. I don't really need her accuracy on that, so that's how we're going to roll. Now the same with the defense. What do we got? We got 2 rings to try, so we're going to do the same thing. We're going to speed it up, and we'll see what we are when we're done. We are 0 for 2. We can't. That double HP one, the reason I'm taking Kymar is that double HP single defense one I like on him. I don't know why he's not in an attack ring. Probably just because we're more worried about him being survivable. Or at least that was my thought process at the time. So let's equip those, and then we'll move into the actual gear here. Alright, so again, he's a defense-based champion based on defense. Probably not going to use him extensively in the arena. He might be a good immunity champion if we use him in the arena. Puts up an increased defense, puts up a weaken, has a strength on himself, and can provoke. He's a turn meter boost. So this is basically a poor man's Seeker, right? It's an increased defense put up rather than an attack up, but he doesn't get that extra turn, and he's got the same A1 more or less as Seeker. His A2, I guess, is better because Seeker doesn't have an A. Well, he has an A2, but I'm comparing it to the A3. So, but the strengthen on himself. I wanted to try him in arena. So this is one of the things I go through is where do I think I'm going to use this champion? I think Faction Wars screams at me as the initial place I'd probably want to try him. There's no... Maybe Ice Golem just for the survivability, putting strength on himself, putting an increased defense. Would pair really well with like an Iron Brago in arena defense. So, you know, we're going to try a couple of those thoughts. I'm going to probably try to prop him into a go second team just to see if it works type of thing, like a poor man's go second team. But we want him to have decent speed to do that so that he's putting it up that defense up. Though, we could 5-head this. Because I don't think I have anyone in it. Frenzy Gear. Gotta think outside the box. Gotta think outside the box. All right, let's glyph everything up. Like I said, we're gonna go with 4 stars. Now this, I like this, but do I like it enough to put a? I'll put a 5-star on it. I don't. It's not 6-star likable. There we go. See. Again, I don't want to. I would normally probably put speed into it just because it's the refresh or whatever the cleansing banner, and that's already got stuff in it, right? And nothing here unless we were trying. So the good thing is we could conceivably get this guy to 200 speed. We've got a speed glyph here. We've got a speed here. Like everything's got speed on it. Double speed, speed. Now these two already have low rolls on them, but even if we were to go 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, we could get this guy above 200 speed in his current condition, which is actually pretty crazy. So our final stats on him, we got 3702, 253, 85 at 186, 105, 190, 214 accuracy. Here he goes. I won't do a full video on this guy because I want to wait until we can get his books, right? So we're gonna book him in the next CVC. But let's just take him for a test spin. I wouldn't, just based on what I see here, I would rebuild him out to be a defensive guy. So at that point, just we see, you know, now I see what. So you're seeing kind of the back end. This is what I'll do: is I'll fight teams. I'll fight teams the same time just to kind of get an idea. What I see from this champion is that he is not very good with damage. I'd still run the video out with him in his current set to show you his damages, and then probably when we went to the arena, I would switch him out into a high defense, high resist. See if we can just do that where he has the greatest chance. If I've got reaction gear in Demon Spawn, which I believe I do, I put that on him. Just deck him out in this defensive stalwart. See what we can do. High resist, whatever we can, to kind of pull the game on as long as we can. So that's kind of where I see him being built, but which would be for the actual video, which some point in the future I will do now because I've put the resources into him. But at this time, it's time for us to bring up the calculator and see exactly what this is going to cost. So give me a minute here, and when we come back, we'll take a look at what the end total cost of building out this champion is. This is kind of a look into how I build it out. I have two monitors, and what you're seeing here is my actual desktop or a screen share. I hope I'm not doxing myself. You can see in here, I've got my videos. I've got all the videos, previous ones I've recorded. You can see one's recording right now. Oh, that's this one. I've got my YouTube assets, which is just my opening intro and my sub. And then we've got some stuff that I'm working on. This is some old videos. This is my reaction video. Obviously, I needed the original video from Raid Shadow Legends. Probably a free-to-play in there as well. So a little bit of everything in there. Previous videos. And then we've got, of course, this is the software I use, which is Wondershare for Mora. So what we do is we do a new... Okay. I won't know. I was just kidding. I said okay. So we'll import media files. I'll go to videos. We'll go to YouTube. We'll pull both of those. And then and I'm not actually going to make a video. But if we were doing one... Right. Let's pretend this is the reaction video. So this is the run of the mill. This is how I would edit. Now, if you want to look at the other screen that I'm working on at the same time, so I can kind of go both, I can go back and forth between the two if I need to. We'll jump over to this one. It's going to be a little bit of weird streamer stuff, but you see I have my Streamlabs OBS on this side. I've got my Discord. You can see at the top. I don't know if there's anything private. I'm in the Shadow Legends Assemble. I don't think there's anyone. Besmer, thanks for the podcast. Look at that. Yeah, nothing crazy. Okay, I apologize if I doxed anyone. You also get to see who I follow, whose Discords I'm in. And then here you've got the Chosen Calculator Google Drive open. I've also got some Ayumi Love stuff running there. I've got kind of the main thing I have here, my Twitch. So you see everything going on here on this side. I use Opera. Oh, there's Opera there. It's going to try to open it up. I use Opera to do most of my day-to-day browsing, but I use this for YouTube, so it's always open on my YouTube channel, so as I'm uploading and uploading stuff. For a photo editor, I use Pixlr. And let's just show you that thing, just so you get an idea. This is how I create my thumbnails. And this, it's too bad it doesn't have one open. But I can create new, full HD, create, and then I can either drag or I'll add an image, I'll browse. You see this is the one I made here, right? So this is how I added them in here. I've got, you see my this week, I've got assets that I'm downloading, the ethos, the trenda, the Sathalia. So it depends on, you can see that was for that thumbnail there. If we actually go into pictures, camera roll, so I'm trying to do my different things. I've got some raid assets here. So raid assets is where most of my stuff, eventually I put all the renders in here, but these are the two main backgrounds I use. And then, so we, choose a background. I'd resize it because obviously that's big. Then we bring a lure in there, resizer. I like this editor because it's free software, and it's it properly deals with PNGs and stuff. Add new texts. My signature text is Boneherd Bjorn. This is a crazy video behind the scenes. Maybe I'll have her talking about it. I'll put it in a bubble or something. And then what we'll do is size matters. Right. And then I have a two-tone. So either I go red in gold or I go gold and red, depending on what I'm doing. We'll do an outline and we'll color the outline. I should probably write the numbers down so I'm a little bit more consistent, but honestly, it's not that big of a deal. And then I'll create a shadow. I find shadows allow it to pop a little bit more. So we'll make the shadow 60. And I typically, depending on the background, but usually I go white shadow. Right? Boom. So then that would be it. And, maybe I'd add a banner if I was creating I built them. and sometimes I use the black squiggly, the paint, the ink swell, or whatever you call it. So that's how I make it, and then I can save it, and then I can make sure it's the YouTube format. I'll go to 100%. This works fine. Some of them are a little bit over, so I back it down to 99%. See how much it drops it. So there you go. That's where I create. That's where I create thumbnails. I'm sure you guys really wanted to know that. We'll get back to display 1, which will look ugly. So this is this piece, and then all I do is we go in here, 1980 by 1020. People are complaining that it's too loud, so I drop that down 10%, and then I'll drop in the video. No, this is the actual video, so I wouldn't obviously redo this. I let it go for a little bit until I can see the audio, because then that's when I know I can then cut her down. So I can start there, boom, and then we go to transitions. I've got some favorites built up. This is a fade. There we go, and then I'll just play it. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Matt Capper, and this is another video on Raid Shadow Legends. So I want to get to right here. We go to media, we drop in the sub on Raid Shadow Legends, and we have Cirilla right here, and she's going to talk to us. So I'll probably bring that a little closer. So this is the basic thing. Other things that are the cool thing I have that I've created is a titles, and it's my custom titles, and that's how I do my ability review. As you can see here, what I'll do is I'll bring in the asset from pictures. I think I have it under branding. No. Under assets. Right there. Okay, so I'll bring this here. This actually goes above it. Drops down. This drops down. And then we actually bring in elements. I have a favorite one. We'll bring in that element as well. That goes up there. This is literally how I do this, and it's a little bit time consuming. Then I take that and I drop it to the size I need, depending on the champion. And then we drop this sucker way down. Pointed at me. Boom. Like that. So that's essentially how I do it. And then what happens is I'll voice record this and I'll read that. So I'll read that ability, and then I can go back in. I can double click here and go to advanced, and here I can actually stopgap. So what I'll do is I'll play it back about the great reveal, and then I'll stop when I say it, and I'll come here and I'll push that in. And that's when it shows up. So as you can see, as it plays, that's when it fades in.
Dupe system,
right?
I've tried to shield myself. This is going to be I haven't seen it yet.
The other thing I have to do is obviously expand this to whatever length it ends up being. Okay. So when I record it, the audio will show up down here in the empty audio track, and then I'll trim this to that size. And then I'll find out the duration. So if you see I'm stretching that right now, duration 1703. Then I have to go here, speed and duration, 1703. That puts it up. And then we add a freeze frame. Because if you, on those videos, if you remember or not, oops. Oh, Control Z. Control Z. The best way to get to the start here, double click it. That's where I add the freeze frame. Cool. And then duration, remember it was 1703. Boom. And then I just copy, repeat. Then I watch through and I cut it out. So that's my editing. When we're done, I can hit export. and then we name the video. It's already all set up to go for 60 frames a second, 1920 by 1080. You can do auto highlights with this program. I don't. It would be interesting, but I think auto highlight would be more interesting for free to play. I don't know how it would work. You can save it as several different kinds, but I save it as an MP4. It's really cool though. You can do it for 60-second shorts. You can do 15-second TikTok. So there's a lot of different stuff you can do on this. So add a network drive, GPU accelerated video encoding, obviously, to make it faster. And away you go. You can upload this directly to YouTube, but I don't want to. So anyway, that's the behind the scenes of how this works. As far as music, you can hear Harris Heller in the background. This is, you know, I use Hipster Barbecue and Twitch 2020, which is my playlist. Anytime I'm listening to the Twitch, and then you can see the Harris Heller stuff, the stream beats. This is the rock one. This is the synthwave that we're listening to. He's also got lo-fi. You see it over on the left side here. You've got ambient EDM lo-fi as well. So that's, you know, as far as in a video, we're going to close that out for a little bit. I do have a bunch of audio in here, which is all royalty free. And some of it comes with this. The recommended, they're adding stuff all the time, and some of that stuff isn't royalty free. If you see the diamond there, it means I have to pay for it to be able to use it on my video, which is fine. The cost is very cheap. I haven't done a whole lot of purchasing, but it is kind of neat. These ones here are the ones that I have. I have downloads. So some of these came from this. Not really for me, but there's a whole bunch of options. There's also some sound effects. So don't know why I'd want a celery breaking effect, but it's kind of a neat. Filmora's a neat thing. One of the things I found is they've really monetized themselves of late. It used to be just the basic stuff, but now when you go to each of these, you see there's all these extra things you can get. Anyone with a diamond is a pay item. There's like two different styles of pay item. There's the premium and the plus, and the plus just means you're logged in and it's like free, but you have to download it and you have to be registered. I'm a lifetime owner of Filmora, so I am registered. And then the diamond one is the actual charge. So it's got some neat stuff. Nothing I've felt the need to buy just yet. But you can see there's a ton of different elements, festivals and events. There's tons of different countdowns. So they keep adding stuff all the time if you're interested in that piece. So that's the Filmora piece. Let's get rid of the display capture. So I think the last thing to go through at this point is how much does this cost me? As far as in-game resources, what is the monetary value of the in-game resources? What does it cost me? Each one of these guides that I build, and to do that, we're going to use the Chosen calculator. A little TLDR on Chosen's calculator, because so many people get this wrong. Every time I hear someone go, but Capper, but Chosen, ancient shards aren't $2. I'd never pay $2 for one. We know. You need a retail value. And this is the generally accepted Plarium retail value of a shard. So that's in their bad packs, in their extended packs. The value is about 2. And you can edit this yourself. So you can download a copy and put those values in. But keep in mind that how much the purchase price, how much Chosen is willing to say, yeah, go ahead at this price, is 50%. It's right there. It's just G9 right here, cut in half. So if you're saying, I like those numbers, but I'm not going to pay 0.5, you can change this. Once you download it, it's yours to use, however you see fit. So this is to just get a nominal value there, the quote-unquote Plarium retail, and then how much should you pay for it? Then what typically, if you're using this, you say, okay, they're charging $59.99. Well, Chosen's saying, that's only a decent offer. It's not great. It's only at about 1.5. I'd like it to be 50%. I would like it to be 47.15 for it to be a excellent deal. And so that's how the calculator works. For our intents and purposes, we're going to be using this to calculate what the retail and what the purchase price of this would be if I just went out whipped out the Visa and purchased these resources in order to make this video. And the first one is the silver. So the silver is everything it costs in the tavern to level up. So each brew costs 7,000 silver in order to use when you're leveling up, and going from 40 to 50, 50 to 60, or sorry, 4 to 5, 5 to 6 star also costs you silver. And then all the gear that I rolled also costs silver. And then I subtracted the 3 million silver that Plarium gives me as a content creator in level 2 per week. So I subtracted that. And the net result is 14,314. And then we used 182 brews. On top of that, by the way, I got 1,000 energy. But what the problem is I didn't use any energy in this particular one because I didn't even use energy to test. Normally, I'd take him through a couple runs in a couple different dungeons just to see how he reacts. So that would cost energy, and then I would do the actual video, which would cost energy. But I didn't do any in this case, so we're net 0 here. This number it goes back and forth depending, right? In this case, you see that 1,000 energy is worth 750, so I just put that over here. I put 750 over here, and then I put its 50% value, because if we're gonna half the value of the input, then we're gonna have to half the value of what the resources given to me are. So, so that's what these numbers are here. Same with the gems. I get 1,000 gems. I used 800 for masteries, so that left 200 left over. As you can see over here, 200 is about $5 retail. So we put $5 and 250 over here. Then we've got 10 epic tomes, but I get 4, so net 6. 5 ancient shards. That was to pull the champion that I used, Tarshan, and the other 4 champions that I used as food. I could have used chickens instead, but I didn't, so we're just being to what I used. And then finally we used 5, or not finally, but next we used 5 5-star chickens. I get 4 from Plarium, so the net is 1. And then at the end of the day, for all the ascension, I think I got these numbers right. They feel a little bit low, but those are the numbers I have. And that is the 50 greater potions and 15 superior potions total. The total retail value, according to the Plarium Crazies, is 94.30. And then the half of that was 47.15 minus the resources left over. So we're grading the approximate cost to build this champion resources about $41. And so just so everyone's aware, that is every champion after I get my content creator weekly giveaway. It costs Plarium gives me negative $41 in order to make a video about a champion. And just so we're all on the same page, I think, well, maybe a couple of my videos, a couple of the earlier ones have probably broke even by now, but most of the new ones definitely don't. I don't make $40 per video in a month. Maybe lifetime a couple of them have. I'd have to go look at the analytics to truly know what the numbers are. I don't even know if they even break out monetarily, so that would be a little bit difficult to do, but I'm sure somewhere, somehow, there's a way to do it. I'm just not going to, so you can figure it out. But just so you know, I'm a small fry. Obviously, the bigger guys who get more views than mine are going to get better return on their YouTube videos and therefore have more money, but also they're doing this full time. So I have a 6-figure salary Monday to Friday that helps me live, and then I have this on the sly. They're trying to do all that full time. So absolutely, if they're making $50 a video, they're in trouble. They need to be making $200 a video plus their Twitch stream money in order to provide a living for themselves and their family. So just to put that all in perspective, I thought that would be a good way to end the video, is to see what the cost of building out an epic. Legendaries would be a little bit more expensive. There's different ways I could be more efficient in my leveling and stuff like that, but hopefully this gives you some really cool insight into how I build out these videos, what it costs me, where those resources from Plarium, because I know that's what kind of initiated this whole thing, where those Plarium resources get slotted in here, and the net result. I hope it was fun for you. I hope you enjoyed it. That's all I have for you. So I want to leave you with, of course, as always, please be kind to one another, be safe out there, and we'll see you in the next video.